This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 191, the bonus episode, picks and predictions. Yes, gotta say what's up, y'all. Gotta say what's up, man. My man Howie, the Hitman, is in the building. Howie, how you doing, Howie? What's up, man?
I'm doing great, man. Everything's going well with me. You know, like I had a little battle with COVID, but I'm back.
Good, man.
Knocked me out for the 8 count, but I'm back up and Coach Art, we're back up and ready to go, man.
Good stuff. Speaking of Coach Art, what's up, Coach Art? In the building, representing at East Point. How you doing, man?
Feeling good. Like I say, ready for this football season to start, and I'm just excited. It's my time of year.
Hey, my time of year too, bro. My time of year too. Hey, by the way, I got to shout out Vi. Vi couldn't make it with us this episode, but Vi is on with us every Sunday, man. But I was going to tell him a story of the time I spent today on Georgia Tech's campus. I know. Come on. Give me a break. All right. So, I know on November 25th, they won't be taking the dogs down, but I did my prayer walk. I had to be there anyway, so I might as well have done it. But I just, I'll just leave that on the podcast for him to listen to and enjoy. Okay. But just a couple of things, y'all. And first of all, I invited you guys to come on to do picks and predictions. And we're going to talk about the college side of things and the pros, football. And we also do a Thanksgiving episode, which we'll do again, the leftovers episode. We'll do that again. But this is our first prediction, before the season starts, our picks and predictions. But just a couple of things that happened this week, and I'm going to get your thoughts on them. Colorado, DEION Sanders, man, beat TCU. And Art, you said you felt, you predicted it was going to happen. But I don't think anybody predicted, except you.
Well, when I took a deep dive into what Deion's doing, because from a coaching standpoint, I'm really into who he's surrounding himself with, from the coordinators down to the actual associates to the team. But when I seen that he went into the transfer portal, where you can only get 14 guys, and 12 of the 14 guys were either offensive or defensive linemen. So he got the beef. He went and got the beef. They played against a very spry and ready TCU team. Yeah. And it was a good game. I was holding on, hoping that they didn't call him out of the game or anything. I could say that that receiver / defensive back, that guy is the truth. He'll be playing on Sunday.
I got you. Hey, well, let me ask you, Howie, were you expecting Deion to pull this off?
Well, I was surprised at how well Colorado played. That kid he's talking about, Travis Hunter, is a local kid. He was a Florida State commit, 5-star DB, and he played 129 snaps. I have some concerns about him playing that all year. But more than that is I was surprised by the quarterback, Sanders' son. Well, he was picked to play at FAU with Willie Taggart before he got fired. And then he came to Jackson State. But this, from Jackson State to Colorado, was a huge step. But he, to Coach's point, he brought in a lot of players who can play. And they played very well, and they were well coached. And that's the difference, I think, when you try to bring all these people together, all these kids together and play so quickly. Deion had them playing well together.
Yeah, good stuff. And I was surprised, but again, Deion is proving himself to be a good coach, and and ultimately that's what's going to win games. The combination of bringing in good talent, like you said, Coach Art, but he knows what to do with the talent as well. And I'll be honest, I was impressed with his son, man.
Oh yeah.
This cat is really positioning himself as an NFL potential quarterback.
He looks good. He's tall. He can throw the ball. He was in complete command of his offense. He took care of the ball, and he put it out there. He didn't panic and run. where they could take cheap shots at him. Like I said, I was a little miffed at the defense because even if they were matching what TCU was doing, they still were just giving the quarterback too much time.
But you know what? Nobody played defense, Art. It was not. I mean, nobody played defense.
All right, I'm going to tell you this. TCU is a good football team. Because if you listen to the commentation, and I believe that's what Lee Corso was going off of, is that these guys just reloaded and actually had a touch bit more talent all the way around. Now, they missed that quarterback, that guy Duggan. He was like kind of the stir, the straw, that spins the drink. But they went out because of their status of having played for a national championship. They got a lot of good. They got what they wanted. They got what they wanted down there.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think Colorado potentially can be 8-5. Do y'all agree with me on that?
Well, I know they're going to be 3-0 going into their USC game. So next week they play against Nebraska with Matt Rule, who lost to Minnesota, and they're not playing very well, not very well disciplined. And they got Georgia Tech's quarterback, Sims, who's a turnover problem. And then they play Colorado State. So they can be 3-0 going to their USC game, which will be a very big game for the Pac-12, which will next year be no more.
They're going to beat Nebraska and Colorado State. They're going to beat Nebraska. Because one thing that coaches do is they assess in a real live situation what they got. And they either make changes or they make scheme changes.
Okay.
So he's going to be better. And unfortunately, I think what they're going to do to DEION is kind of put him at number 19 and keep him there. Or number 18 and keep him there. Now, that's going to be impossible once they play. And should they beat that loaded USC team? Because what USC did was, USC said, this is our window. They have the means, which means they have the money. So they enticed two kids out of the SEC on the defensive line. They took the heir apparent to Jordan Davis from the Bulldogs. Mm-hmm. That guy, Bear Alexander, was being groomed to be the heir apparent. He was lowered with money. They lowered the bear with some honey. The young man who walked off the practice field for whatever reason, I don't want to get into it, defensive lineman from Alabama, had some type of verbal altercation with the coach. He walks into the portal, and he's at USC.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let me say, and I want to get to your main pick. Who's your national champion for 2023? But first, and just in a minute, okay? I don't need a lot of analysis on it. Just a quick, because we're here in Atlanta. We're in Georgia. Do you think the Dogs will repeat? Before I ask you who will be the national champion, I'm gonna start with you real quick, Howie. Do you think the Dogs going to repeat?
Well, that may answer both questions, because if I think they're going to repeat, they're going to be national champions.
There you go.
I absolutely think they're going to come out of the SEC. Florida's not where they need to be on the East here. Alabama, LSU going to tangle. We'll see what Alabama has when they play against Texas this weekend. But ultimately, I think Georgia will come out of the SEC. And then I think it's USC. USC may be the next best team out there. And then Michigan and Ohio State, of course. I think they're going to beat up each other in the Big Ten. And ultimately, Georgia will repeat, and they're going to be national champions.
Okay. All right. What about you, Coach Art?
Well, there's no getting around USC. I think it's going to be amazing when we see how good they are, how stout they are. Because, like I say, they know that they've got Caleb Williams, who's the Heisman Trophy winner last year. They've got one more year.
Mm-hmm.
And the receivers, I'm looking, when I saw some highlights on USC, I was looking for holes, and I didn't see any. But I believe Georgia, with their vaunted secondary and their continually growing offense, I'm going to give Bobo a second chance. A lot of people are not, because when they think of Bobo, they think of Rick.
So you're gonna say, are they gonna three-peat or not?
Yes, they are. Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say Ohio State, and let me tell you why. I think Ohio State's in a position after losing last year where they have to win this year. I don't think Michigan will do much based on the way they're starting without a coach. I'm just here. I think Harbaugh has hurt the team with his actions, and I don't think I think he's caused the team to lose momentum going into the season. So I really feel Ohio State's going to take it. I'm not impressed with Georgia's QB, and I know he did better in the second half of the first game, which they should have blown. What was the team? Tennessee Martin out of the water anyway. But I think they're gonna miss Stetson Bennett. If Stetson Bennett, which was back this year, then I would agree with you. But I think Stetson Bennett makes the difference. That's my opinion.
Right.
I think he makes the difference in this team, and I just think that by Georgia playing as soft of a schedule as they are, it's going to give teams enough time to figure him out, to figure out their quarterback. What's his name? Carson Beck? I think it's giving people enough time with these soft teams they're playing to figure him out. So by the end of the season, when they get into a tougher schedule and they get into the playoffs, I think it's going to be a tougher year for him, man, because I don't think he has the experience. So we'll see. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think it's Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Ohio State had a little bit of a drop-off in their quarterback, too much of a drop-off in the quarterback position. But remember John Thompson used to play all those pansies at the beginning of the season so his kids can understand what they need to do? I think that's where Georgia is. Beck will be much better come game 9, 10, and 11 than he is right now.
Okay, we'll see.
He has weapons. You have to understand it. First of all, nobody's even digested the fact that the A-back for Georgia didn't even play.
Okay.
Milton, number 2, he didn't even play.
Mm-hmm.
And their super freshman, their super young guy who with the speed that they get you salivating for, he didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what they did was take a vanilla script and put it out there. And everybody's got to get their head about themselves and their win, because the play calling. Because I looked at Auburn. Auburn's going to be a test. Auburn looks pretty stark.
I agree. But Art, here's what I'm saying. I think not having Monken is a big deal, and I'm not holding it. I'm not beating up on Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you that the reason the Dogs have been as good as they have been on offense, in my opinion, is Monken.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fact that, listen to what I'm saying. I'll let you speak. Hey, bro, come on. All I'm saying is, ultimately, this kid has not played as much over the last 2 years in these championship seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've got to give him at least one full season to develop. I don't think he'll be developed by the end of this season. I don't.
Well, I believe, and I'll just say this, okay, because I've been watching Carson Beck. The little guy that I liked had left the program, Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him because he would run. He can run and throw. But anyway, Beck is more than enough. What you have to understand is that Georgia covers all the bases: special teams, punting, field goal, and their secondary is better. I mean, if you could just take a look at these 6'2", 6'3" guys they have back there in the secondary, okay, you will be amazed. So what I'm telling you is that the defense is better. The defense.
Okay, well, they're going to have to show it, but I will tell you that, and let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Did Stetson Bennett make a difference at the end of each season or not? Did he?
No.
Yes or no? No. I'm just asking you. Yes or no?
I don't, because I'm not a Stetson Bennett guy. I mean,
no, I'm not a fan either. But what I'm saying to you is, when it came down to making critical throws in key games, he was able to get it done. Now I got you. He may not have been a full game player, but when it came down to the end of the game, he put it down. I'll leave it at that. We could go on and on.
I seen him throw the ball to the opposition too many times. I'm not a Stetson Bennett guy. Okay.
Well, I mean, but see, you don't have to be. All you have to do is look at the fact that they won 2 national championships back to back. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I think right now it's going. Carson Beck's gonna have to prove himself.
See, what you have to understand is you look at Georgia's offensive line is composed of 2 creatures that are 6'8".
But see, you breaking it down for the team. I'm telling you that if he doesn't make the throws, they can have the 49ers offensive line. But if he's not completing the passes, it's not going to matter.
Tell me, look at his face. He knows that Carson Beck has a superior arm in passing abilities to Stetson Bennett.
Well, that may be true, and it possibly is. I'm not doubting you, but he has to complete the passes. I'm telling. Okay, you're saying he will. I'm saying he won't.
All right.
Okay. All right. So you guys both choose a 3-peat for Georgia.
Yeah.
And I say it's coming. I say it's going to be Ohio State. I'll leave it at that.
Ohio State's going to be very interesting to watch.
The team that Michigan did real evil to last year.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I think that's. I mean, I'm not even an Ohio State fan. I just look at the fact that because that did happen last year, the coaches, it's the pressure's on the coach to win a national championship, and they're gonna do everything to win it this year.
Yeah.
They should have won it. They should have won it last year. Honestly, they should have won it last year.
Ohio State's coach may start to get warm if he don't beat Michigan this year. His feet may start to get warm if he don't beat Michigan this year. I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. If they don't win it, he could be looking for a new job after the end of the season.
Drop off. I think that quarterback last year he was there for 2 seasons. I think the drop off is the big issue for them.
I hear you, Art. I hear you. I hear Coach Art. I hear you.
His quarterback. He's a real. I mean, that guy comes and played against Georgia like we weren't nothing. And had we not taken out that receiver, they would have advanced. I was watching that, but that's a good pick, Tommy B. Like I say, I'm surprised you're not going with USC because USC has it all.
Can I say this about the West Coast and that what is it, Pac-12?
Yeah, soon to be no more.
What's that?
Soon to be no more.
Yeah, but the thing about even when and we'll get into the pros in just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That division has fallen off so much over the years, the decades. I just don't know if it's even as close competitively as the SEC, and what we see and what we experience in the Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if any teams can come out of the West Coast the way they used to back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Name one that listen to what I'm saying. Name one that's won a national championship within the last 10 years. No. Listen to what I'm saying. No, just answer the question. What West Coast team has won a national championship in the last 10 years?
You might
Howie?
say 15. You might say 15 years.
Last 15 years.
Okay.
And I think it comes down to recruiting. It comes down to competition. It was let me tell you, it was one of the reasons I was concerned about Drake London. He's turned out to be a good player for the Falcons, but I was concerned about Drake because of the level of competition on the left coast, okay, and the Pac-12. No, but just Art, just answer my question. Who?
Okay.
What? No. Name a national champion out of the West Coast.
I'm going to answer your question without lying, because the only way I can say, because they have nobody from the West Coast has won a national championship. But if you ask me, what are the good teams out west? I mean, we just watched Utah beat Florida.
No, but I'm not asking within their I'm not asking within their bubble. I'm asking for the nation.
They have some solid teams. No, listen, whenever the flagship organizations in the conference falter, Oregon, USC, UCLA never was. Stanford just dropped off the map. Okay, you've got some smaller teams that are good. Arizona State was a good quality team. San Jose, Utah.
Hey, Art. Let me stop you there. Again, you're talking about the teams within their own bubble. I'm asking. No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm asking you from a national standpoint.
Okay.
Is there any team that can compete with the SEC?
USC.
Okay. Have they won a national championship?
Oh, they're rebuilding.
Okay. All right. My point. That's my point.
They're working the portal. They got Caleb Williams. I mean, okay. First of all, you have to look at this. The way that the portal is constructed, good players are on the move. This is a whole new day. Okay.
Okay. Well, you know what? If it's a whole new day, then let them win a national championship, and then I'll shut up. And then I'll come on the podcast and I'll say, you know what? Okay, the West Coast has a chance, but right now I just don't think they have a chance.
If USC stays healthy, they are going to be a serious problem. They have this. I mean, you see the highlights of Caleb Williams. This guy goes into every game and he says, I'm going to win or die. And he plays that way. And he is really just that good. USC's issue was, and the reason why they got bounced last year by TCU was their defense. So, I was keeping an eye on what Alabama lost and what Georgia lost to USC, two defensive lines. But other players have came via the portal to a premier program. Because we have to look at it that Oregon and USC, if Oregon had their coaching situation right, because USC has their coach. Lincoln Riley is an awesome coach. And I feel sorry for Nebraska having lost him. Okay?
Okay, well, let me stop you there, okay? And because Howie's laughing, and the reason I say that, I'm not asking about if I coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Right.
What I'm saying is, can they win a national championship? And here's the other thing: the portal just happened within how many years?
Three.
Right, within 3 years. So, this is my opinion. I think the portal works against Pac-12. It's working against them because they're losing the recruitment battle. Yeah, I think they are. I think that more players are leaving.
Coaches, they lose the recruitment battle because they haven't been relevant for the last 7 years.
But whose fault is that?
It's the organization's fault.
Okay, well that's why I'm saying the West Coast. That's why I'm saying it's tougher for West Coast teams to win a national championship.
Yes. What about Georgia Tech and Florida State?
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, first of all, let me say this, okay? I love my folks. Just for the sake that I grew up in Atlanta and I got friends who go to Tech, okay? Tech's not really that. Tech. Let me say this. Tech hasn't taken and invested enough into their football program to be taken seriously yet, and hopefully that's going to change with the recent hire. Okay. As far as Florida State, you know what? It's been a mess. It's been a mess since Bobby Bowden left it. I mean, you're a Florida guy, Howie.
Tommy, can I give you some explanation?
But why are you leaving? Why are you leaving what I'm saying about the West Coast to come back over to the ACC? We don't need to be there. The ACC is not a competitive. It's not a. I mean, that's why. That's why the ACC is pulling in teams from the West Coast.
Hold on.
It's not competitive.
Here now. Okay. Georgia Tech needed a coach. They could have called. I foreseen in my head a meeting between Coach Prime, Coach Sanders, and the AD, or the president of Georgia Tech.
But why are we having a conversation about Georgia Tech?
Hold on. I wouldn't have let him get out.
So that makes nothing to do with Georgia Tech.
And then you look at the schools.
No, but hey, I want to stick to our original conversation. Okay, I want to talk about, and we got to go because we got to go over the pros. We're almost out of time. So I do want to say this, okay, and I got you. I'll give you the last word on the West Coast. Let's stay away from the ACC for a minute, and I will just say that my concern is I just don't think the West Coast has been competitive enough, as competitive. And from a recruitment standpoint, and just from a playing standpoint in terms of dominance as the SEC. Love them or hate them, the SEC has been the dominant conference. Period.
They haven't. They just haven't. I mean, the SEC.
Who hasn't? The SEC.
For the last 20 years.
The S isn't SEC. The SEC has been dominant for the last 10, 20 years.
Yes, they have. Okay. I'm not taking anything for granted.
The only time I remember the West Coast being dominant was Anthony Davis.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you what.
Oh, no, yeah. You see, you got to go history on me.
Now, Alabama looked pretty good.
Okay.
Alabama looked pretty good. I don't know why they had all that rigmarole about who's going to start because they got this other freshman that they're supposed to be in love with. Okay. But the kid who started, the quarterback, he looked good. They're going to be tough. And, I haven't predicted who's going to win between Texas and Alabama. That's the big game next week. Somebody's going to get cut to the bone. Either Texas is going to go back to the wish me list, or Alabama's going to fall apart.
Okay. So let's do this. What I want you to do, I'm going to give you a chance at the end of the show to go back and pull some things from your wish list. But let's go to the pros, and then we'll come back to that at the end, okay?
Sure.
Real quick, because we're an Atlanta show. We're based in Atlanta. I got to ask about the Falcons and whether or not you think the Falcons are going to win 10 games this year.
Well, I had the Falcons winning 10 games. I spoke with you about that. I really like what they have depth-wise. This new GM, he's really doing some real powerful things. We've got to kind of be careful with this running back that we drafted. Here, when we go into live action, I would run Algiers and Patterns Cornell up until mid-third quarter, and I'd bring Bijan out, and I would just let him tear him up. But from what I saw in preseason, he's a live wire. And I understand that I didn't see very much because this guy has a catch radius that they say is off the chart. Okay?
In fairness, they only did one series in preseason. One series. Yeah.
He's quick. He's ready to go.
And I'll leave it there. All right, go to you, Howie.
Yeah, I think Bijan's going to be nice. I think he's an every down back. I think he got breakaway speed. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He's everything we wanted. I was a little bit concerned with the pick originally, but once I seen that one series in the preseason, I think he's ready to go. Absolutely, the Falcons can win 10 games if they play Smith's type of football. Run the ball first, pass when they have to, or pass when the occasion presents itself. It's going to be huge. You got 2 games against Tampa. I think they can win those. 2 games against Carolina. I think they can win those. Their other division is Saints. They probably can beat both of those too. Allen down in New Orleans don't know what he's doing if you ask me. So I think they easily can win 10 games.
I agree.
Football, yeah.
I agree with you. I agree. I think they can win 10 games. Yeah, go ahead.
This could be scary because the big plan on the big board has kind of fallen apart in the secondary, predicated on Jeff Okudah. He's supposed to get stride and be opposite of Terrell, okay? But Okudah went down with the ankle injury. I heard that he was going to be back in play. He's rusty or whatever. So we're playing the number 1 kid in the draft, and he's a true baller. He's going to put the ball up. The games, we're going to have to fight these guys.
I will tell you, Bryce. I mean, he struggled in preseason for the most part, and yeah, maybe he struggled to become better, in a real game. But I think it's going to be tough. I think first half of the season is going to be tough because they're coming for him, and he's not a big guy.
Yeah,
he's going to have to learn quickly to get rid of the ball. He definitely can't hold on to that ball because they're coming for him.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Remember when Peyton Manning, when they threw him out there, which was good for him because he learned. But early on in the season, these defenses throw so many things at you. I don't think these young guys can comprehend it all. So he's going to struggle a little bit early on. The kid from Ohio State who's at Houston, he's going to struggle because the defenses are going to throw too much at him at one time. Yeah, so I think we should easily get past Carolina without a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, real quick, we got that out of the way. Let's talk about who you think's going to win it all in the NFL. I'll start with you, Howie, then I'll go to you, Coach Art. Howie,
NFL.
Who's going to win it all, man?
The 49ers look good. Yeah, even they've kind of settled the quarterback situation by running my boy Trey out with the Dallas. So that room has kind of probably will come together, gel a little bit better. I think with Trey being there, it just would have been a little bit of a problem. I'm not a Shanahan fan. I think he lost the Super Bowl for the Falcons, but they have a very good team and they play within themselves. I think that's one team. And you know what? If Art Monk, is it Art Monk or Monken up in the Ravens can get together with that quarterback, what's that young man's name? I can't think of his name right now.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Those two can get together. That defense will carry them, and Lamar will keep them honest. Yes, so I think it's going to be Niners and maybe the Ravens.
Wow. Okay, Coach Art?
I don't have the Niners making the playoffs because there's some issues. There's some issues in the 49ers camp with Bosa. And, I mean, they just rely too heavily on Deebo Samuel. My pick is going to be, you look at a team that climbed the mountain, fought. They still got that taste. They still got that taste in their mouth, and that's the Eagles. Now, I'm not just buddying up to the Eagles because they picked my Bulldogs and they proudly put them aside, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Bulldogs North.
They bolster their team with Bulldogs.
Yeah.
But what happens is these guys are actively attempting to spend some money. Jalen Hurts is only going to get better. He's a problem. Jalen Hurts he's an excellent quarterback, getting better and better. The maturity factor with him, the tailbacks that they have, because what I'm looking at is who can beat the Chiefs. Okay,
not many.
No, yeah,
not many.
That's
not
true.
Many. But I think if the Eagles get this roguish set, and then we're also forgetting the kid that we probably should have taken, that defensive tackle.
Jalen Carter?
Carter.
Yeah, Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter's just a young kid who's been given an awful lot. And he has an awful lot of talent. But he slipped right to a very powerful group, and they're running together. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter again. They've got 3 Bulldogs on the line, on the defensive line. They're going to be tough. They are.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I think it will come down potentially to a rematch because I think the only thing that that's a little troublesome in the beginning of the season, and we don't know how bad it's going to be, is Travis Kelce has an injury going into the first game. So as we tape this, he potentially may be out
Right.
Of this Thursday's game. And it depends on how many games he either misses or he's not at 100%. But let me say, as long as Mahomes is at 100%,
Right.
I give them all the chances in the world to make it back to the Super Bowl. As long as he's at 100%. I just don't. Let me say what I have to say. I think Philly made a good move by getting Jalen Carter. I think a lot of folks are critical of the Falcons for not getting Jalen Carter, but I do, and I mean this, I think it's a good thing that the guy stays out of his area that got him in trouble. He doesn't need to be around. Let me just say it. I think it's, I'm not rooting against him, but I think for him and his career, being too close to some of the environment that caused the races and a lot of the things that occurred, being in a better organization, a more mature organization like the Eagles, and around some of his former players, the guys he grew up around at UGA, it's going to make him a better coach, and it's going to make him a better man. I think. So honestly, I'm glad. I'm not saying I'm glad. You hate to lose a quality, talented player like that. But him staying in the South around some of the cats who may have gotten him in trouble, it's not a bad thing. I'm not disappointed because the Falcons did what they did.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you to a certain extent, but they have roads and fast cars in Philadelphia. So if he's going to drive fast, they're going to drive fast. I wish we would have took him. Wish we'd been the Falcons. I wish they would have taken him. But why I think Philadelphia is not going to make it back, they make it close. In the NFL, you can beat them one time with whatever you have, but the next time you cannot beat them with the same thing. And Jalen Hurts is able to run when everything broke down, and they just not going to allow him to do that this year. I think that's where the issue is going to be. So if the Philadelphia can scheme a little bit better, keep him in a pocket, let him pass it open, they make him get back. But if they're going to depend on him when things break down to run for 10 or 12 yards, I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Okay, so you pick the 49ers?
49ers and Ravens.
Overall. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, you got a tie between 49ers and the Ravens.
Right.
All right. Specifically, who do you pick to win it all?
Okay.
No. I don't want to hear the analysis. Just who do you say the team?
I got the Eagles. I just wanted to give an honorable mention to 2 teams. Okay.
Well, cool. You say the Eagles are definitely going to take it. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Honorable mention to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, we just haven't said or any. They're going to be exciting. Deshaun Watson is going to get that rust off of him if he hasn't already gotten it, and he knows maturity.
What?
They're going to be tough to beat.
What?
Yeah, they're going to be very. The Browns are going to show you early, who's the boss.
Okay, so that's your one. Who's your second? Who's your second honorable mention?
Second, I'm not going away from must-watch TV with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, their team doesn't seem to be the greatest team. They stay in the game, and at the end, Patrick wins it. He's just an awesome quarterback.
Okay, so you're going to say your honorable mention will be, I can't even say it.
Chiefs.
Cleveland. Dude, if you were gonna be in Ohio, say Cincinnati.
I'm thinking about Cincinnati too.
Lord. But I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna go with that. Okay, for prosperity, okay, let's do that. But I'm just gonna say to you that I think Deshaun Watson is gonna be a bust for them. I don't think they're gonna I don't think that Cleveland will get their return on that investment.
Oh, wow. Really? That's interesting.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson gave Dabo Swinney his only.
Dude, you going back to college?
Well, he played well in Houston as well.
Okay, but my point is, let me say this: it's time for all these folks who are saying he needs to knock the rust off. Let's stop that conversation. Now is the time.
Yes.
Now, if you say that's going to happen this season, you know what? $230 million says it should happen too.
Yeah, he has to play well.
Guaranteed money. You know what? Guaranteed money says it should happen too. Okay, I'm not hating the brother. Look, I'm not hating the brother for getting his guaranteed money.
In Houston, he never had a running game. In Houston, he never had a running game. He's got Nick Chubb. He's got Hunt.
Dude, hey, how long has Nick Chubb been in the league?
His fourth.
How long has Nick Chubb been in the league?
I think it's his fourth year.
And let me tell you this. They didn't pay him $230 million for Nick Chubb to win the games. They didn't pay him guaranteed. No, listen to what I'm saying. They didn't pay Deshaun Watson guaranteed money for somebody else to win the game. Deshaun Watson needs to start winning the games with his arm. If he can't do that, it's a bust.
No, hold on.
No, I mean, I'm serious, but listen to what I'm saying. Look, let me say this. Let me say this. Okay, when who wins Kansas? Who wins the games for Kansas City? Mahomes. Okay, who won the games for New England?
Brady.
Back in the day, Brady. Who won the games for Tampa Bay?
Brady.
My point is, either you're going to be a quarterback and you're going to win the games for your team with your arm, but you can't say, well, he's got a great running game. Dude, they're paying you $230 million guaranteed. Was it 230? Am I saying 230? Is it right?
That's about
230.
Yeah.
Listen. Cleveland's going to have a 10-plus win season. Okay, they're going to be reckoned with in the playoffs. They're going. Okay. They're going.
Look, you give me even more reason to watch the NFL this year.
Right. Deshaun Watson does definitely. Deshaun Watson does make it very.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating on Deshaun, but I'm here to tell you that all y'all with this. Well, look at the weapons around him. He is a $230 million weapon. Okay. And if he can't do it, I'm not hating on the brother. I'm not hating. I have nothing. I don't hold anything against him. I want him to succeed. But if he doesn't do what $230 million says he should do, it's a bust.
Yeah, he's going to be must-watch TV. He's going to be must-watch TV when it comes to Sunday.
But let me say it. Nobody's talking about an exciting season. You hear more people talking about Aaron Rodgers with the Jets.
That's why you have us on here, okay? The most not sexy thing.
Look, Aaron Rodgers is creating more buzz. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. He's creating more buzz.
I don't think Jets are going to be that successful.
I don't either. I don't either.
I think he's lost the streak to throw the ball.
I think he prefers being a coach on the sideline with the headset. I think he prefers that more so than he does being out there.
I agree.
All right, Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith are going too. They're going to
going where?
Yeah. They're their way in there.
They go into the playoffs, maybe.
Hey.
Yeah, they're going to scrub their way, and they're going to go in the back door, and they're going to go in.
Here's a question. Do you think Kansas City is going to lose something with Eric Bieniemy gone?
No.
You don't think it's going to be anything lost there?
No. Not taking Eric Bieniemy. I'm just saying that, okay, it's like this. Okay, and I've worked diligently to become a play caller. It's a very, very integral part of the offensive coordinator who calls the plays. Mm-hmm. So basically, Bieniemy, he was, as the offensive coordinator, he had say in a lot of the personnel, and he had, say in the quarterback room. But if the same guy is calling the plays is still there as the head coach, if he's calling the plays, then, and plus you got to realize that all he's calling is a set. Mahomes is reading and changing and it's a beautiful. He didn't win until he had Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. But can I address that real quick?
Yes.
And this is why Bieniemy had so many problems getting a gig, because Andy Reid took credit,
right,
in so many occasions, so many situations for making the play calls,
right.
And so I don't think, and let me say this about Mahomes. It's why I picked him to go back to back. Well, it's why I'm picking, because he's just a different kind of QB, man. He's just a different kind of cat. That dude runs the offense. He runs that offense. He is the catalyst for that team, and very different when you can't even compare Deshaun Watson to Patrick Mahomes. Let me say this. Listen to what I'm saying. As a talent, Watson has quote unquote potential because he's a talented brother. Mahomes knows how to win. He knows how to win. He knows how to will his team to win. And you know what? Let me say this. Until Deshaun Watson wins.
Okay, can I tell you where you're wrong? Just real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna listen. Go ahead.
What happens is you have a tale of two cities. You have one city, which is a first-round draft pick, and that's Deshaun Watson. He goes to the sorriest team on the scrap heap. Sorry owners. Deshaun Watson has been through 5 coaches on the Houston organization. One every, you know what I'm saying? So now you look at the flip side of the coin, okay, and you have Patrick Mahomes, who was an afterthought, a 5th round pick, okay, and he goes to Kansas City. And 3 years prior, Kansas City lost because Alex Smith couldn't make a play in the playoffs. These guys are deep runs, and they always, just like your 49ers, they died because Garoppolo couldn't make a play when he needed to make a play. Alex Smith couldn't make a play. So you got this great team sitting here, okay, and now you get this kid, and then so I don't know where Tyreek Hill came in at, but Tyreek Hill is a beast. He's like that kid you can't say no to. He's going to run it all the way to the end zone no matter what. And so you mix him with Mahomes, and you're winning.
So let me say this to you. Okay, let me say this to you. So we're doing picks and predictions. This is before the season starts. So when we come back and we do leftovers in November, then we can have this conversation about Deshaun Watson. For now, based on your argument, it's not a fair argument until we give him time. So let's give him time.
I'm glad that you that.
No, let's know what.
And I don't care what
don't care what they say about me. Okay, I appreciate you, but let me say this: in November, after Thanksgiving, let's have this same conversation about Deshaun Watson. Okay?
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. Deshaun Watson is going to be a very interesting player this year because he has to play well this year.
But let me ask you. Let me say this for the record. Is it fair for me to ask him to produce this season? so that when we have a conversation in November about Deshaun Watson and about Cleveland, we're not throwing up excuses.
I agree. But he had produced before, Tommy. He played very well.
I got you. He played very well.
He has to play this year.
He has to play this year.
I agree with you. The reason I brought up Eric Bieniemy is I think football games are won Monday to Friday in the quarterback room, and I think that's where you're going to miss Eric Bieniemy. He was a hard driver. I think you're going to see improvement from Washington. Their quarterback room is going to be better. They're going to play much better because of Eric Bieniemy.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs are going to lose something.
Okay. All right. So let's leave that there. Your last minute takeaways, and then we'll wrap up the show. I'll give you. You've been civil, Coach Howie. You've been the civil one. And give a shout out to your son before you wrap. But go ahead. I'll give you your last anything. Your last take from either college, pros. And then the extras, the shout out to your son.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this season with the Falcons. I think 10-11 wins. I think we're going to play well in the playoffs. I think we can win our division and be number 2, if not number 1. I'm looking forward to watching the Ravens play. For some reason, I think Todd Monken and Lamar is going to come together and make things happen. I'm looking for Pittsburgh also. They haven't had a losing season, and the coach up there has done a very good job. I hope they're ready to make the next step. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be the 49ers or the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs.
I don't know how you picked the 49ers.
I think the 49ers.
No, I'm trying. I mean, they have a hell of a defense.
They have a very, I'm not a Shanahan guy, but they have a very well.
Who's the quarterback?
Huh?
Who's the quarterback?
They got the same guy who took them to the playoffs last year, Heupel. Remember the after effect? The guy, he was the Mr. Irrelevant.
You mean Purdy?
Purdy. I mean, Purdy.
Purdy coming off the injury. Purdy.
Yeah. But you just think about it. If he wasn't hurt in that playoff game, I think
they were getting killed.
So I don't. I mean, look. I'm gonna trust you. Hey, it's your pick. Your pick.
Look at it. Hey, trust me. I think they play well enough, and I think Shanahan is a well enough coach. It's tough for him to win the big one. He can get you there.
I mean, look, I love the 49ers defense.
Yeah.
I love their defense.
Yeah.
Their defense is serious.
Yeah.
But with Purdy, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, to me, and I'm gonna throw it to you. I'm throwing it to you, Coach Art. I'm gonna say this. What I saw from him, it was almost like Tommy John. His arm. Mm-hmm. And I got to see him come back with a strong arm.
Right.
Now, we'll see. It was concerning to me.
Yeah, he couldn't throw the ball. Exactly.
He couldn't throw it all.
Yep. That's exactly.
Go ahead, Coach Art.
This is what concerns me. Okay, how Shanahan gets the benefit of the doubt. He has complete. He can bring in who he wants.
I'm mad from the Falcons Super Bowl. Go ahead, man.
I'm still mad from there too.
I'm still mad. Go ahead.
He takes the program, and for 4 years, he stuffs Garoppolo in there, and you see the same results. He's doing the same thing over and over again, and when the game gets tough, when they're not just doing what they want to do at will, then they've got to ride Deebo Samuel's back. Mm-hmm. Okay? And Deebo does what he does. Now it comes down to a drive, and we've seen it over and over and over. And the saddest thing about it is on 80% of those drives and the pass that he throws and misses, if he would have ran the ball, he could have got the first down and moved the chains. Yeah. It's like, I've got to throw this ball. No, you've got to get a first down. Okay? So, how you can keep, and then you're paying Garoppolo, okay, exorbitant amount of money, unbelievable amount of money for a B- quarterback.
Well, Garoppolo's gone. Okay, he's gone. He's gone. But let me say this, Coach Art. You know, Howie, I don't know where you're pulling 49. I know. I'm look. Let me tell you. That's why we do the show.
Right.
That's why we do this show. Because I want to see how magical y'all can be. So you're gonna have to be magical, and you're gonna have to be magical on Cleveland, dog. I just want to see the magic. hey, at least I'm picking KC. I'm picking Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see the magic from y'all. Okay, no, you picked Philly. And Cleveland was like, your plan. Something. I don't know what that's going. What plan is that? Plan B? Aspirin plan?
That's my thing. He said Deshaun Watson's must-watch TV.
Well, I think he's must-watch TV because of the salary he's making. I don't ever want to get
that's
in
it.
his pocket. The salary he's making.
I don't either.
And then they said he needed a year to get better. So this is last year was the year he didn't play. Didn't get the playoff. So this is the year. So
this is the year.
That's why.
And let me tell you, if it's not, then it's a bust.
Well, hold on, man. There's a lot of things that go on in football. There's a lot of things.
Oh boy.
Okay. See, we're happy that the season starts. Okay, by week three,
like violins.
Week 3, injuries are going to reshape the league. By week 3, unfortunately, by week 3, they're going to shape the league.
So you're saying that's going to be a benefit to Cleveland, potentially?
No, Cleveland has a stop. I'm not saying. Cleveland has a good defense, and now they have a good offensive running game. I believe was number 1 in the league.
Okay.
Rushing. And now they got Deshaun Watson. They got some nice receivers they brought in for him to make some things happen. So
Okay. All right, good deal. Let me do this, and we're just going to do a quick recap. Oh, and shout out your son, Howie. You didn't do it.
Bridgewater State University, number 13, my favorite number. He's playing cornerback. You are going to line check it out. He's playing Pittsburgh, Division III school this week, and he's so I hope he gets to play. He got hurt against MIT, so hopefully he can bounce back and he can play this week.
MIT has a football team?
MIT, the Engineers, they play very well. Bridgewater lost to them, but they do have a football team.
That's what's up. That's
right.
Congrats to him.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna say, big time. And I want to say, and Art, you picked. Who's your college pick for? I want to make sure I have the
number 1.
Okay, yeah. You both have UGA
three-peat
as a three-peat. I picked Ohio State. On the pro side, I picked Kansas City. Howie, you go with the 49ers.
At the 49ers.
I don't know how, but and you go with Philly. Go with the Eagles. Okay. All right. Appreciate y'all.
I have a quick shout out.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, quick shout out. Go ahead.
I'd like to have a quick shout out to my grandson. He's 10 years old, Nicholas Frederic. He's going for his first amateur fight in Douglasville, where the amateurs are going to start at 12 and the professionals are going to start at 6. It's going to be a nice situation. So the bout sheet just came out. And also I have another fighter who's 20 years old. His name is Abdul Nair. His nickname is Nasty. He's 20 years old. He's going to be fighting at 170 pounds. Good
stuff. Let me give
it up for him, man. Get that information from Coach Art.
Yeah, Coach Art, hit him on the text. Hit him on the group text. Make sure.
Okay.
Make sure. Yeah. Hit him on the group text. Make sure we have it.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta say, and I'm gonna wrap it. On a sad note, man. Atlanta broadcaster, Eagles great man. Hugh Douglas Sr. lost his son, Hugh Jr. And his roommate, Christian Files Jr., I think is the way you pronounce his name. Mm-hmm. Bad accident over in East Point, ran into a utility pole, man, and they both, succumbed to their injuries. Our heartfelt prayers go out to Hugh Douglas, man, who spent a lot of quality time in the ATL on one of the big sports stations here, man, and we just, send our prayers and love out to his family. And they were members, man, of the two kids were set to graduate Morehouse in 2025. You hate to hear that, man, but definitely we send out, our condolences to his, to his friends and his family, and keep your head up, man. That's got to be tough. That's got to be
difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. But again, thank you so much. Howie hit the hit. I call him the Hitman.
Thanks for the invite, man. Like always.
Fight it, Howie. and of course, the one and only Coach Art, who will always get boxing in somewhere. Appreciate y'all, brothers, man. Thank you so much. I got to shout out my boy Vi. Thank you, man. Thank you for trying to jump up in here. And this is the bonus episode, episode 191, picks and predictions. And y'all gonna be mad at me. They're gonna be mad at me anyway, Coach Art. So I might as well say what I'm gonna say.
Right, get it out.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say because I don't care. But with that, y'all, definitely peace and power to the people. Have a great week, and we'll see you episode 192. Thank you.
You've been listening to the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B. The G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.